What is your Magic hot take? This Reddit thread from July 21st got quite a few comments, 1,230 as the time of recording, and I thought I'd go through it and read off the top comments as well as the controversial comments, which are the most hilarious ones, so stay tuned for those. But I'll start with the top comments, and the OP Tubby Horse says that people need to remember that Wizards is a corporation and will make the decision that makes them the most money. They will only ban a card if it makes them more money either in the short or long term. So this applies, a lot of it applies to constructed formats like Standard. So you have Shieldred, you have Nadu, you have the One Ring. All of these are constructed staples, constructed all-stars. Arguably all should be banned. Nadu, I think, is going to get banned. It's a cheap card. Wizards will be fine banning it. As far as Commander, that's a rules committee thing. That's not really this in the scope of this particular comment. So we'll constrict this to Wizards. Wizards does not want to shake the faith in players and collectors. So banning a card like Shieldred, which is currently, oh my god, $87 right now. I guess you can get it a little bit cheaper. It's about 60 to 80 bucks depending on what version you get. And so banning an expensive card like this could shake the faith of players and collectors. The same goes for the One Ring, which is, holy moly, you can get it for, it's roughly $100 right now, depending on the edition. The crazy editions are $200. Wizards does not want to ban these ultra expensive cards because it reduces the amount of packs people open from the sets if they're still in print, and it shakes the faith. So I agree that they want to maintain the money flow, so they will ban a card like Nadu. I think this card is getting banned in one or more, or maybe every single format. I think even the rules committee might ban this one from Commander. Who knows? But yeah, expensive cards, Shieldred, the One Ring, I think are unlikely to get banned. Jace the Mind Sculptor had a similar deal where it didn't get banned until the last couple of months. So yeah, I agree with that one for the most part. Yeah, and so before I go to the second question, I'd just like to remind everybody that I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We actually got a lot from the previous video. We got 80 subscribers. For me, that's a lot. So if I can get to 1,000 by, I don't know, we'll say the end of August, I'm giving myself a lot of leeway. That would be great. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And we'll go to the next question here. So the Commander players, this is from Fapping Walrus, great troll name. Commander players need to learn how to lose a game. Yeah, 100% agree. Commander players get real salty real fast. I'm just going to scroll down the saltiest cards list. Commander players they have mismatched expectations when they enter a casual game. I'm specifically talking about regular Commander, not CEDH, because I'm not really knowledgeable about CEDH. I think they are more in line with each other. There's probably a little bit less salt there, maybe a lot less, because players, they kind of know what they're getting into. But in a casual game, you have Rule 0, you have commanders and decks with wildly different power levels, and you have all these factors that result in players just like not getting what they wanted. You know, oh, I didn't get to do my deck. I didn't get to, you know, run my combo or play out all my creatures, and you played a single removal spell, now I folded, you know, and they get salty. And then also they think that like, oh, I should win like half my games, right? It's like, no, you should win about a quarter of your games in a 4-player pod. That's the expected wins. And so, yeah, players, they need to learn how to lose. There's threat assessment problems. There's multiplayer issues, just like the nature of the game. I get why it makes people salty. It probably happens in board games and card games too. I mean, if you watch any poker tournaments, like the Phil Hellmuth meltdowns, like all that type of stuff, that's pretty much every other Commander pod. So in some ways it's funny, just don't let it go too far. Yeah, everyone needs to be a little bit better sport about this. I agree with Fapping Walrus on this. So we'll go to the next one here. So the next one is the popularity of Commander really skewed 3C design space and people's expectations of the color pie. I'm not sure exactly what they mean. I think they mean 3 colors. So like if you have a 3-color shard or wedge, that will result in a deck that can pretty much do anything that a 5-color deck can do in a lot of cases. I would say with the exception of Grixis. Grixis commanders cannot remove enchantments very easily. They have trouble with that. But otherwise, most of the colors, if you touch green or white, you can remove anything you want, really. And so, yeah, and Mark Rosewater has also talked about how, like, the color pie is tricky. It's tricky for them to make sets that care about 3-color combos like Khans of Tarkir or Shards of Alara because it kind of dilutes what each color does. So they have to kind of go, what is the absence? So if you have Korvold Faker's King, it's what is the absence of white and blue? What would that bring to that commander, to that deck? And I'm just scrolling down the commander's page here. There's also spells that do certain things as well. But yeah, like I agree that it's tricky to make these multicolor commanders, especially once you get past 2 colors. It can be tempting to just make your card do everything, and 5 colors can do everything. So 3 colors is tricky, 4 colors is trickier, 5 colors is like, you really got to be careful. So I agree with that to some extent. There's a comment below this. My hotter take: Commander isn't Magic at all, and being the main format of the game, it has ruined Magic. And it's just like, what? I disagree with this guy's name. Is kindly fuck off. Oh man, these usernames are hilarious. I think that Commander has not ruined Magic. I think that players can get salty, and there's a lot of cards printed for Commander, but Magic has always been a casual game. It's always been populated mostly by casual players, kitchen table players, 60 card players until Commander took over, and now like it still is that way. I think competitive 1v1 grinders, tournament grinders, they'll always be in the minority, always have been, and probably always will be. So yeah, like Commander is not ruining Magic. If anything, Commander has saved Magic and made it more money than they would have ever dreamed of. I think Magic is much more profitable today than it was in the past. They got more sets, they got everything. Commander saved Magic, so that is a real hot take right there. That one's crazy. Okay, here we go. Water, lots of water is wet, earth is round takes on here from Boy Meets World, spelled with yeah. Anyway, yeah. I mean, the best top comments are gonna be like that. A lot of them. So we'll keep going on that. Zapdos Brannigan says, there are too many humans. There needs to be more non-humans, especially as main characters. And I got that a little bit out of order. Here we go. I pulled up some tabs earlier, so we'd have something to look at. Yeah, I agree with this. Like, Bloomburrow brings a lot of like the woodland creatures and the non-human card types, and I really like that. I think that we could stand to have a little bit fewer humans in sets. I like sets with no humans at all, like Bloomburrow. Ikoria, I think, had some extent of that. There's probably some humans in there. I'd have to pull that up, but I like the idea of just like monsters and crazy stuff happening, because this is a fantasy card game. I don't need a human in every set. I think that it's not totally necessary. That being said, humans are cool. Like, we do need some human characters, but yeah, I really like the variety. This is something I agree with. That's not like a super hot take, but I agree with it. Here we go. Next one, Treasure. Treasure is the most subtly game-warping mechanic of the past 10 years, and the game is less healthy for it. They've effectively eliminated the cost of rough mana bases for good stuff piles and broken the color pie. Combined with the prevalence of big, splashy fire design cards, they push strategies that revolve around ramping into the I win card and more broken interactions. And so, yeah, there's a lot of treasure in Commander now. This one's a little bit of a hot take. People dislike the really strong treasure cards. I think, in my opinion, it's a problem with a few overpowered cards. Smothering Tithe, Dockside Extortionist. Those are the main offenders, in my opinion. These cards are overly pushed for Commander. Arguably, they could be banned. I think they're a little bit too strong, but I mean, even if they're not banned, they're too pushed. You have cards like Pitiless Plunderer, which is really crazy. Academy Manufacturer, which can combo with like foods and clues and make you some crazy stuff. But, overall, aside from the overly powerful treasure cards, I think that the mechanic of treasure, it does fix your mana, but it's a temporary burst. So maybe relegate it more often into certain colors or others. Like red, I think, feels very treasury. Really like Mardu colors. Green can have like a little bit of treasure. They don't really need it though. They have land ramps. So yeah, Mardu black. So blue, I don't know. Blue is interesting. Blue to me doesn't strike me as very treasure heavy. There's a few blue cards with treasure, like some pirate cards, but yeah, I see what they're saying with like the mana of treasures, like fixing your mana, but at the same time, I want consistency in my games. I don't want to be shackled to just having like bad mana, like I want to be able to do stuff. Treasures are temporary too, and so I like that. I like that they help you a little bit temporarily. Now, if you go too far with some things, but so here we go. What I like in treasure design, what needs to happen, and they're currently doing this, is creating tapped treasure tokens. Gala Greeters creates a tapped treasure. So I think if the treasure comes in tapped, then it's fair. Then it's totally fair. And so there's a number of cards here that create tapped treasure tokens. these I like. I don't think that the untapped ones are very fair. Dockside Extortionist and Smothering Tithe again are just extremely overpowered. And so, yeah, I agree with that on that point. That was from Nutdraw. There's a lot of thirsty usernames here. Jack Gallows says, the average Magic player is below average at Magic. I don't even know what pictures to bring up for this one, but, I mean, if you're talking, like, casual Commander players, yeah, because people, they get too used to, like, the kayfabe and the making deals and be like, oh, I'm just a small bean, and just, like, hiding behind Salt and trying to be nice and everything. So yeah, like casual multiplayer commanders are not often very strong players unless you've played in tournaments or at the very least like pre-releases or drafts. Like if you have not done any of that, then you're not going to be super good at Magic. So I kind of agree with that. People need to chill down. This person says, Lurker says, scalpers and speculators are cancer to the community. I wish they reprinted expensive sets until the market's flooded and card prices crash for anything except I have the old edition. I don't know what they mean by scalpers. Like people who just buy up like speculators, I guess. That's the same thing. Yeah, like I it's going to happen though. Like I don't know how you stop that. How do you stop speculators? Because people can just go on TCG Player or any, website and buy whatever cards they want. I mean, I guess the website can limit you to a certain amount, but TCG Player can't really do that. Because if you're buying from different sellers, you can buy as many, for example, Smothering Tithe as you want. Yeah, I mean, I agree that it sucks. I think the way to solve the speculation stuff is for Wizards to reprint cards more to more availability without like way overdoing it like Chronicle style. So I kind of half agree on that one. Next one here we have in the game where lands are basically extra spells, combo pieces, land destruction isn't bad or rude. There needs to be more land destruction in cards. So this, I'll pull up the land board wipes. The first few are not land board wipes. So here we go, starting with like Armageddon style cards. I don't know. I don't think Wizards is going to do this. So this is a hot take. Wizards is not going to print Armageddon variants that are like power crept. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do another Obliterate, just for the heck of it, because these are some of the saltiest cards on EDH Rec. And players want to be able to play the game. If a new player shows up, they get all their lands blown up, they're not going to play again, So, yes, it's an answer sometimes, but it's even kind of not an answer because if I made a whole video on this. If lands destruction gets to be widespread and people are expecting it, then you're just going to have green decks ramping into land destruction and then ramping again and Crucible of Worlds bringing back their cards from the graveyard. And then it's just going to be like, okay, well, this is this is totally distorted. So I don't know. I don't really agree with this one. I think land destruction has a place, but it's tricky. Like mass land destruction, I think is just not. It's not the best way to do it. In my opinion, I don't think mass land destruction is really super helpful for the game as a whole. So yeah, that I disagree with. Here we go. I like playing core sets. So we're going to scroll down 7th edition here, one of the classic core sets. In between the special mechanics, typal synergy sets, it's good to refresh on fundamentals, card advantage, and board presence. Yeah, I mean, I agree with the core sets. They have the foundation set coming out soon. It's a little bit of a breather. It's a lot of reprints, although the new ones have new cards as well. But yeah, I just like, getting back to the basics. I like that on occasion. I don't know if it needs to be every year, but every couple of years would be nice. Foundation, we'll see how that turns out. It sounds like they're going to print a single core set that's going to last like 5 years or something. That's wild. I don't know if they can plan that far ahead because Wizards tend to make promises and then just break them a year later, and they're like, yeah. So, but yeah, I like the simplicity of core sets. Reducing the number of lines of text on each text box is really nice. You can see on 7th edition here, there's a lot of cards with like 2 lines of text. Really cool. Like even opposition, like this card's a little bit salty, but 2 lines of text. That's simple. That's easy to understand. And so I like the idea of that. I like core sets. Non-foil cards are better than foils. We're just going to look at some curls here. So yeah, foils, I like the look of them better. Although on camera, if you're playing Spell Table, maybe don't do that. But foils tend to curl. The new ones from the past like decade or so have just been like look at this thing. Oh my God! Like these are Pringles. Like these are Pringle potato chips. You can't really play them in a deck that easily. Commander Legends was one of the worst offenders of this. This binder of just look at this thing. Oh my God, that is awful. Wizards needs to fix their foil printing process. I agree with this. I don't know how much of a hot take it is, but if for tournament players, they shouldn't play foils at all because they can get their deck DQ'd. So, not that I'm a tournament player, but yeah, I wish that Wizards would fix their foils. So yeah, sort by controversial. See the real hot takes. Build for fun, play to win. I agree with all that. ETBs, white border. Let's do this. Let's go to controversial here. I know there's a lot more comments that I missed, but controversial. This is going to be fun. Counter spells. This is from Paulo's Ball. Counter spells should not exist. Period. This one is hilarious. This one's hilarious. I love it. Obviously, counter spells are a major part of the game. There's 500 of them printed. Only 500. That seems like there'd be more. But they are salty, but I think they're necessary. It's not like mass land destruction where you can't come back from a counterspell. You can come back from a counterspell. It gets into trouble when you have repeatable counterspells like Forbid, which I'll look up here. Forbid, this card here, this is really cancerous. So like you can buy it back and replay it again and again. That is too much. But a regular counterspell, negate, arcane denial, countering your Craterhoof Behemoth or something, it's like, yeah, bro, like you're gonna get your game-winning card is gonna get countered. Like you deserve to be countered for that. The only exception I would say is if you build like a mono blue deck with like 35 counterspells. Like I built an Eluge deck in the previous video, and I put a bunch of counterspells in there. But even that deck didn't have, I think it maybe had like 10 counterspells, which is still kind of pushing it, but it wasn't an all counterspell deck is what I'm saying. So yeah, counterspells should 100% exist. Like they exist to interact on the stack before something hits the battlefield, and they're the only way to interact with instants and sorceries, really. If you didn't have counterspells, you couldn't interact with instants and sorceries. So, you could like redirect them, I guess, or copy them, but yeah, nevertheless, this is quite a hot take. I love it. Here we go. Next one. Pink Monolith. Magic would be a better experience if the entire color of white was removed. Oh my god, I love that one. This is a good one. This is a good comment. Let's do this. Let's see. White. Here we go. Oh no, let's just do this. ID white. Let's look at the top white cards. And mana value greater than 0. Here we go. Sort by EDH rack rank. So yeah, you lose. Oh, equals white. My bad. I forgot about that. You lose cards like Swords of Plowshares, Path to Exile, Smothering Tithe, good riddance. Ezra Sentinel, Teferi's Protection, Farewell. You lose a lot of Wraths. You lose a lot of like removal that's flexible and cheap. You lose a lot of small creature matters, some tokens, synergies. White is just like really flexible. I think white is totally necessary for the game. I don't know why I'm arguing this. There's some cards that are a little salty, but like, come on, what are we doing here? This is a 5. I mean, you'd have to change every Magic card back. Let's do this. Let's see, Magic. I can type that right. Card back. You'd have to change the Magic card back because, like, look at this. You'd have to get rid of that the little white circle there. You just have 4. Yeah. This is an even hotter take than the counterspell one. So yeah, disagree with that 100%. Draft is the worst way to play a game from Shoddy Beat Sword. That is a crazy hot take. Draft is one of the best ways to play a game. Cube is arguably the single best way to play Magic, even above Commander. I would say that's a hot take. But yeah, draft is great because you have a limited card pool. You don't have to show up with your expensive $1,000 deck just to compete. It's a fair playing field, level playing field. It's all skill. Draft is 100% skill. So disagree with that. Although I mean, they could argue that if they just want to have fun and goof around, then yeah, sure. But I mean, no way. Draft is super fun, and you get better at the game. So yeah, here we go. We'll read a couple more of these. If the standard format died tomorrow, couldn't care less. I've always despised playing 1v1 games. I mean, this is why Commander is so big, because 1v1 is very try-hard, very sweaty. And so it's totally reasonable to not want to play that. I don't know. This one's kind of a medium take. Like, Standard could die, I think, and Magic would be fine. It already kind of did during the pandemic a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that one a little bit. I don't want it to die, but, I think it could happen. Eldraine is the worst plane in Magic. Good googly moogly. Set Eldraine. Here we go. We're going to go to Edia Trek rank. We'll just kind of scroll down here. But yeah, dude, worst plane in Magic, Eldraine? No way, dude. This is a great plane. It has the best special borders, too, I think, arguably. Bloom Burrow's up there, too, but Thunder Junction, with I don't know about that. They're saying Thunder Junction is better. Eldraine is one of the best planes, I think. Just like the super fairy tale stuff, that's what Magic is to me, like the really like heavy fairy tale elements. And then Warhammer, I kind of like the mix of those. Warhammer and Bloom Burrow battle it out, you know. I don't know about that. That one I disagree with. Let's read a couple more here. So Commander would be way better if deck sizes were 70 to 80 instead of 100. You'd be more consistent. You would not need every tutor and buff mill as a strategy. Interesting. I don't know about that. I mean, they could, since this other person says they could ban tutors, fetch lands. Oh, that'd be a lot of bans. I mean, even me, somebody who wants to ban like a ton of cards, I don't think I would ban all tutors and fetch lands. That'd be so many bans. Yeah, I don't know. 70 to 80, it's just awkward. It's like 100 is a nice round number. It feels easy to say. You know, 100 is not that bad. And there's a lot of products built for Commander already. All the Commander pre-cons would not be legal anymore. So yeah, this is a crazy hot take. I totally disagree with it. Not as bad as white should be eliminated, but it's like up there. And yeah, here we go. Let's see. Hearthstone's mana system is better than lands. I'm not a Hearthstone expert. I can't really comment too much. I think the land setup is what makes Magic. So, yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna end on this. Bloom Burrow isn't that cool of a set. You take that back. You take that back. Bloom Burrow is one of the best sets in recent memory. It does feel like Magic, and it's way more. I think it's more flavorful than every set this year, by far, by a lot. Duskmourn might give it a run for its money, but Bloom Burrow is god tier when it comes to flavor. And so let's do this. BLB. Yeah, Bloom Burrow is just like insane. This has some of the best art I've seen on Magic cards in recent memory. One of the coolest sets. I made a whole video about how cute Bloom Burrow is. I knew the video wouldn't do well, but I didn't care. Like, this set gets me excited to play Magic. And the thing that's nice about Bloom Burrow, it's not grimdark. It's like fairy tale. It's red wall. It's happy and cool and it's just like it's like a sense of nostalgia, and like you could introduce anybody to the game on Bloom Burrow. It's PG. That's what I like about it. And not everything needs to be PG, but it's a great starting point. And so yeah, this is just a really, really phenomenal set that I think Wizards needs to do more of this. More Bloom Burrow, more cute stuff. Cute sells. Cute is king, in my opinion. So yeah, we're going to end on that. So what did you guys think of the Magic hot takes from Reddit? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did I have some comments that you disagreed with? Are any would you ban another color that's not white? Perhaps blue. Should blue be banned from all of Magic? You know, like I don't know. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what did you think of the Magic hot takes?